Hi P5s, it's Miss H and welcome back to our first lesson of Term 2 for our speaking lesson. Today we will be talking about going on a trip. So could you please take out your speaking booklets and open up to pages 9, 10, and 11. We will be using these 3 pages for today's lesson. If you are able to complete the activities alongside the video, then that's great. But if you will need some more time, then you will be asked to complete these pages for homework and you will have to upload them to your Microsoft Teams. This semester, we will ask you to submit all your homework online. Let's begin our lesson. Let's start with the basic question. Have you ever been on a trip? And if you have, where did you go? Was it within Hong Kong? Was it outside Hong Kong? How did you get there? So if it was within Hong Kong, did you take a train or a bus? And if this place was outside of Hong Kong, did you have to take an airplane? How did you get there? Also, who did you go with? Did you go with your parents? Your grandparents, maybe some cousins? What about friends? Who do you take trips with? And if you say, Miss H, but I've never been on a trip, well, that's all right as well. Then I would like you to think about future plans. Where would you like to go? And how do you think you would get there? And who would you like to take with you? Let me give you an example. So last year, before the coronavirus hit us, I went to London and I had to take an aeroplane to get there. I went with my younger sister. So this is how I would like you to try and answer on your own. Okay, I hope you have tried your best to answer these 3 questions in a short paragraph. Now, let's look at another important question. When we go on a trip, what should we pack with us? What do you think we need to take along? On your screen, you can now see a picture. What is this a picture of? Where do you think we might need to bring this? Can you tell me? This, in fact, is a picnic basket. Now, where do you think we might need to take a picnic basket to? Do you think I need this when I go on an aeroplane? You could take a picnic basket to somewhere within Hong Kong. Maybe you will like to go on a picnic. Maybe you can carry a camera to capture some nice photos. So this seems necessary for when you are going somewhere within Hong Kong. Let's take a look at picture 2. Where do you think I might need to bring a suitcase? Should we bring a suitcase when we need to go on a picnic or somewhere within Hong Kong? Well, not quite. We usually need to pack lots of things in our suitcase when we are planning to go somewhere outside of our home country. What are some things that you think we might need to pack? Here are some ideas. Usually we can pack some clothes, shoes, maybe even a toothbrush when we need to go somewhere outside of our home. Also, important documents like a passport is a must. Can you think of anything else that we need to pack? Well, this brings us to our first activity on page 9. What are some things that we have to do in order to prepare ourselves for a trip? For activity A, please take out your rulers and try your best to match each picture with the correct words. Give it a try. Let's look at the first picture together. You can see here there are 2 girls sitting around something and they are putting some items inside this. What do you think they are trying to do? You guessed it right. They are, in fact, packing their belongings in a suitcase. What do you think the boy in picture 2 is trying to tell us? He is in fact telling us to check the weather forecast of the country we are planning to visit. That way we can pack the appropriate type of clothes for the weather. Let's look at picture 3. What do you think picture 3 is trying to tell us? Picture 3 is a reminder to us to always check our travel documents. Travel documents include your passport, maybe your Hong Kong or other country ID card. Even items like a plane ticket is a travel document. And lastly, picture 4 is a reminder for us to always get a medical checkup before we go on a trip. This is a very important step when you are planning to go to another country. You want to make sure you are disease or germ-free when you go to another country. We don't want to spread our germs or our sickness to the other people. I hope you were able to follow along and do the activity together. Let's move on. Let's explore the world together. Have you ever thought about visiting a new place? A place that you might have never visited before? That brings us to page 10, Activity B, Self-Reflection. In this section, I would like you to write a short paragraph telling me where you would like to visit. Is this place within Hong Kong? How far is it? Do you have to take an airplane? You can use these questions and this answer structure to form your answer. Remember to give me reasons for your answers. You can see some examples in the brackets. You can use these as templates and think of more ideas. You might need some time to brainstorm and think of an answer. That's all right. Take your time. In the meantime, let's move on. The next part of the video talks about making a list. Making a list? How is that necessary for traveling? Well, making a list makes our life so much more easier when we are planning to travel. Making lists is a helpful way to remind yourself of the tasks that need to be done. This may be packing or getting a medical checkup. This is a good way to remind ourselves of things to do before going on a trip. This brings us to Activity C on the bottom half of page 10. You have to make a to-do list for a trip that you will be taking in a week. Let's look at Miss H's to-do list. This can help you get some idea on how to do yours. In my list, you can see that I have to pack some clothes. There are some things that I still have to buy. I still have to print something as well. I will also be borrowing something from my mom. So you can take these ideas into account and make up your own list. This activity shouldn't be too hard for you, but if you need some help, you can always refer to your textbooks. So far, we have discussed things that we need to do before we go on to a trip. So we have made lists, we have packed suitcases. Now, this brings us to the last part of our video. Activities that we can do when we are in the country. Do you have any ideas what we can do? Let's open up our last page for this video. Page 11, Activity D. In this activity, you are shown 4 pictures of activities that you can do when visiting another country. You have 6 labels that you need to use to fill in the blanks. Let's look at the pictures and try our best to fill them in. Picture 1 shows us 2 people looking at a store. They are looking at small, tiny things that they can probably bring back. What do you think they are shopping for? They are in fact buying souvenirs. Souvenirs are small gifts that you can bring back for yourself, your family, and your friends as a reminder of your trip. Let's look at picture 2. What do you think picture 2 is trying to tell us? This activity requires lots of people. You can see there is a bus without a roof. And also look at the building they are standing near. They are in fact doing some sightseeing. Do you like sightseeing? Let's look at picture 3. This one seems a little easy. There is a red box and there is a letter type of thing in this girl's hand. What do you think is happening here? Well, this activity is called sending postcards. You can send postcards from your trip to your friends and your family to keep them updated of what you are doing on the trip. Let's look at our final picture. Picture number 4. This activity is lots of people's favorite activity to do when visiting a new country. What do you think this is? Can you take a guess? Look at what they're holding in their hands. Look at the kind of food they are eating. What is this activity called? You guessed it right. They are in fact trying local foods. What are your favorite local foods? And this brings us to the end of our video. Please complete pages 9 to 11 and upload them on your Microsoft Teams as instructions given. Good luck with your work, and I'll see you next time. Bye!